Hey guys, so this is Chains here, and I want to make a whole series about the classic Sonic games. Yes, even. That one. Let's begin. Of course, every platformer and also every video game ever has to have levels in their games, and Sonic does indeed have some levels. Some better than others. Anyways, let's start with Green Hill Zone. This is pretty much the best zone in the game and a perfect introduction to the Sonic series, and please keep in mind the word series for a reason I'll get into later on in the video. But what can be said on Green Hill Zone that hasn't already been said? Its beautiful 16-bit background, its speed, its loops. Pretty much it places the groundwork for every good Sonic stage, and also the levels Sega keeps bringing back every game since Sonic Generations.
Sir, so we need to make the first level for our game, Sonic Forces. What would be a great introduction to the player for our new game?
I got it. You know how we've been doing Green Hill a lot lately. Well, let's do something different. Let's do something that will make every Sonic player crap bricks in amazement.
Well, what is that, sir?
Green Hill Zone, but with sand.
How the hell did they hire you, Harry?
I have no clue, Brittany.
Yeah, this stage gets used more times than P. Diddy uses baby oil. Anyways, let's talk about the next stage, which is... So you know everything that I said about Green Hill Zone. Well, throw it all out of the window. If Green Hill Zone was running at super speed, Marble Zone is like running into a brick wall. This game slows down to a crawl, and you can really see how this game is the first in its series. Let me give an example of this from Act 3. So you start off at this lava part. Thank goodness I've played these games before. Otherwise, I would be cooked for real, literally. Then you will go up to these metal things, and if you fail, you would have to start from 20 seconds earlier. Like, how the hell is this the second level? Well, if we look at the development of Sonic 1, I am at least a little more happier that this is the second stage and not that. So I paused for about half an hour. Do you know why? Well, it was actually because... Hello.
Hey little bro, can you get my dog some of your dog food and bring it over here?
So yeah, I had to give my sister dog food for her dogs. So her apartment is pretty cool. Her boyfriend has a PC, kinda like me. Oh, and by the way, she loved her hell of a boss shirt that I bought her, which is pretty cool to be honest. Also, my sister's boyfriend gave me a Christmas present that was supposed to come in on Christmas, but was delayed to hell and back. Kinda crazy that I'm still getting Christmas presents all the way into January. Here it is. Pretty cool, right? Anyways, the next stage is... Okay, so this is a stage in Sonic 1, where most levels in the game are either good, bad, or decent before pulling its pants down, with two middle fingers pointed at everyone and crapping all over the floor, LOL. This stage stands out for just being there. There is nothing completely wrong with it, besides maybe the elevator stuff, but it is nowhere near as bad as Marble Zone. Also, the game gets a little harder here. Not too hard, but it's getting somewhere. I'm sorry, guys. I really am. But there is just nothing much to talk about here. It's just a beta casino level, and it's just kinda in the game. Well, that was it for Spring Yard Zone. I wonder what is next. No! Alright, Chains, you can do this. You can do this. This is Labyrinth Zone, the worst level in the game. The water lets the level feel like a slog to get through. Probably because you were pretty much going in slow motion in this stage. Also, you can drown, So make sure you wait for the bubbles so you can breathe. That's right, you have to wait in a game about going fast. Like who designed this? Who? Also, this was supposed to be the second level in the game and not the fourth. Like really? Like I could see a kid in the 90s getting this game and a new Genesis for Christmas, pop the game in the system, enjoying Green Hill Zone, and then seeing Labyrinth Zone, and then have their first ever rage quit. I would talk about more of this stage, but honestly, I can't. This whole stage is just awful, and I think I am going to therapy.
Hello, Chains. How are you doing? Whoa. No need for that kind of language. Tell me, what is wrong?
So you may think that this is stupid, that there are people with real-world problems, and here I am talking about a video game with a blue hedgehog, made for children in the 90s. But this zone in the game called Labyrinth Zone has made me lose faith in humanity.
Okay, Chains, you may be surprised that I have heard many clients complain about the same thing.
Really?
Nah, I'm capping, bro. You are the first person in the history of mankind to go to therapy over Sonic the Hedgehog. Lucky for you, all you got to do is just beat the stage, bro. That's it.
Okay, I guess. See you later. Okay, so let me look at the next stage and... Oh my goodness, this is just like Green Hill. It's fast, has loops. Oh my goodness, this is actually good. Finally, a fast Sonic level again. Oh, how I miss these. So Starlight Zone brings us back to a simpler time. A time where we were running around in Green Hill Zone with no worries other than to reach the goal sign. And sure, the enemies are harder to hit, but for the fifth stage in the game, it makes sense. This stage feels like a breather, especially after. This stage is also actually fun, and it's unique because I don't think I have ever seen a fast-paced Sonic level that opened before. It may just be the aftermath of Labyrinth Zone telling me that, but this stage is one of the best stages in Sonic 1, and it might actually be the best. I don't know. I'm just going to have to see my opinion on it at the end of the video because it is a close call between Green Hill Zone and Starlight Zone. Anyways, on to the final level, which is... Okay, so this level has some positives and some negatives. Let's start with the positives. This game has a unique part about it, where each act in this zone will be completely different. And I'm not talking about Sonic 3 different. I'm talking about each act is like its own separate world. The first act is outdoors, the second act is indoors, and Act 3. Yeah, we'll get to Act 3 later. Also, I really like the spinning things in Act 2. It gives out so much momentum, and it would be great in any other stage. But that is where the list of good things end, because we come to this stage's worst factor. The level design is so terrible. Who agreed to some of this? Cause I can't think in a world where someone doesn't get hit on this stage. And I get that this is the final stage, and I do not aspect this stage to be easy at all, but some of this level's challenge just feels cheap. Like for example, there is this really hard jump at the top of the stage, and if you screw up, you start falling down all the way to your death like a Sonic game made by Dimps. However, that is not my main problem with the level. Remember when I said that I would get back to Act 3 later? Once we get past Act 2, we have a little cutscene with Eggman, and then we are kicked into Act 3. You see it? That's right. It's a Labyrinth Zone Act 4. Why did they do this? Like seriously, who thought this would be a good idea? And I know the answer to this is probably time constraints, but they could have picked any level to redo. Whatever, I'm done with this. So I'm going to rank the levels real quick. Labyrinth Zone is dead last because it's Labyrinth Zone, Next is Scrap Brain Zone. Good ideas, but poor execution. Also, Act 3 is Labyrinth Zone Act for pretty much. The next is Marble Zone. The zone is bad, but it's not the worst. The next is Spring Yard Zone. It's a zone in Sonic 1. Second is actually going to be Starlight Zone. And number 1 is Green Hill Zone. So I ended up picking Green Hill Zone over Starlight Zone, and that is because of how Green Hill Zone made Sonic what it is today. Oh yeah, I have more sections of this video. This wouldn't take 10 minutes like last time because it is just boss fights and special stages. Anyways, let's start with. Okay, so the boss fights are actually my favorite part of the game. Let's start with the Green Hill boss. It's a classic, Eggman swinging his ball everywhere. Pause. But seriously, this is a classic Sonic battle. This is not the best, however, nowhere close. Now it is time for the Marble Zone boss fight, and it's good. Not the greatest, but it's good. I definitely don't hate this one at all, but there really is nothing else to say. This is just a good boss fight. Okay, so even though Spring Yard Zone is the most middest level in the game, the boss fight is so good. You have to look out for the platforms because Eggman can pick them up and crash them. This is the one of the best boss fights in the game. Well, the boss fight is actually like the level. For keeping it consistent, yeah, this boss fight sucks. It's just like the level, at least. Hold up, let me explain to you why this boss fight sucks. Okay? This is a platforming fight where you don't even hit Eggman. All you do is jump while the water is rising. And if you screw up, that's it, over. So yeah, this is the worst boss fight. And now, for the best fight in the game. This boss fight has you using the things to bounce yourself up to Eggman and to hit him. This is such a unique concept for a stage, and this boss fight is absolutely sick. It makes you think as to how you will hit him, and it is so cool. Okay, so Scrap Brain's boss fight is actually Final Zone, so I guess it's just Final Zone's boss fight. Now this is meant to be the big, bad, terrifying final boss, and it probably was when it released on the Sega Genesis. However, because the spin dash they added into the game, the boss fight become a literal joke. Now it is not the easiest fight in the game, but it is sure as hell not the hardest. So yeah, the final boss in the game isn't even the hardest. Wow. Well, here is a list on the boss fights, from worst to best. At dead last is Labyrinth the game because it sucks. The next is Final Zone, because it doesn't really do its job at being a challenging final boss very well. Then Marble Zone, because it doesn't really stand out. Then Green Hill Zone, because it is iconic. Spring Yard Zone, because it is insanely cool and unique. And finally Starlight Zone, because it is the most creative and fun boss fight that makes you think outside of the box. Cool, right? Anyways, on to the next subject, which is... Honestly, just going to be honest here. I hate the special stages, and they are overall pointless, because all you get is a little bit of a different ending. Plus, they are all terrible, so yeah, I will do special stages on my other Sonic videos, but this one just isn't worth it. Overall, this is a heavily flawed game. Now it's still good, don't get me wrong, but there is a lot of problems in the game like bad level design, Labyrinth Zone, and underdeveloped features. Overall, I give this game a 6 out of 10. It's a good game, but some problems stop it from being better. Oh, and also Green Hill Zone is a great stage, but for the other Sonic games, not this game. Anyways, that is my review of Sonic 1. The other games will get better, mostly. For the most part. Well, anyways, that's it for this video. See you later, suckers!